There's a process, I think, where an individual finds their purpose in life. A painter, a songwriter, an artist, a filmmaker, at some point they realize this is their passion and this is what they want to do. For me, it was a ritual called the sun dance. And every year at the zenith of the heat of the sun, like right around the summer solstice, we would construct an arbor in the desert, and then you would dance for 4 days without eating food and without drinking water. And you would do like sweat lodges in the morning. These are these vapor baths to purify your body, your mind. It gives you the energy that you need to stay healthy. And it also harnesses the natural forces, like you dance to the sun, you dance to the earth, you dance to the trees, you dance to the corn. So you're putting your human existence in vibration with other important aspects of nature that are necessary to sustain human activity on the planet. And during this process, some of the elders, they see your dedication, they see your initiative, they see the love you have for these ways. So then they take a liking to you and they start sharing some of the more guarded methods of healing, of conducting ceremonies and using the various plants, using various techniques. And so then once I had some of these experiences, I felt comfortable in, first of all, I would do ceremonies in my own backyard. For many years, I wouldn't leave my backyard. Like people would come and they would come, would you come and do a ceremony in California or somewhere? And I was like, I'm okay, I'm just doing ceremonies in my backyard. And then eventually, I think I gained confidence to start traveling around. And like I said, now I've traveled to most of the continents and hundreds of cities, hundreds of different cultures, Arab cultures, India, various parts of Europe, all over Latin America, South America. And one thing I find interesting is that when you're sharing your cultures, you also acquire this universal human understanding, which kind of expands your arsenal when you're dealing with problems that people have. Health issues, psychological issues, relationship issues, just life in general in the modern society. By traveling around the world, you see there's universal methods to help humans rebalance themselves and reconnect with the love of the universe. You could say it this way, yeah. It's a simple truth, but nature holds everything for a happy existence. Like all our food comes from nature. The things we wear come from nature. The things we use to build our house come from nature. But then we construct these cities where nature is no longer evident, And if it is, it's like some polluted river that's going down, a cement duct that's been made or something like this. We've altered our existence in most cities. There are exceptions, of course. But the vast majority of people are, walking on concrete, driving, motor-driven, going into air-conditioned buildings, and they've lost the connection with nature. And why is nature so important? Philosophically, you could say, for example, this question, the mysteries of life, what is truth? What is life? You know, how should we live? These kind of things. The answers are right here in nature. Once the mind gets involved, anything can happen. You know, there's deformations of all types. And once a society separates itself from the natural way of life, these what's a good word for them? I'm searching for a word that doesn't sound so negative, but I would describe them as unnatural. I guess that's the best word to say. It's an unnatural way to live. And when you're living in an unnatural way, diseases happen. Psychological diseases, behavioral patterns, health habits, unnatural. One thing that I did learn by studying and researching about native culture in what they call the Western Hemisphere is that they had the utmost respect for nature and the natural order of life in a pristine setting, for example. They were very careful not to upset the natural environment, and they strove to fit into this perfect environment by having the least amount of impact. And in this way they were able to harness the maximum amount of the natural setting. And you can do this on an individual basis, and you can also help the society move back to this state. And this in itself will like as individually and also in terms of where humanity is going, there needs to be a rebalancing of the natural way of living with the modern technology that's been developed. I think if you take a holistic approach to this situation, so we exist on multiple levels. So to properly analyze a person's present state, I think you have to look at their physical being, you have to look at their mental processes, their emotional states, and then probably the most important part, which is the least amount of attention that receives, is your energetic self. And most cultures understand this. I mean, you could say spirit, you could say, you know, your chakra body, your astral body. In some societies, this is already being promoted as a foundation for health. You can see the correlation between the physical and the energetic body. For example, if you study the chakras and the endocrine system, and the hormones that are produced in the endocrine system are directly related to the energetic level of the chakras. So a person that has malfunctioning in their pineal gland that's not producing enough serotonin and they're depressed, if you could see their energetic body, you would see that their chakra is not functioning properly. The movement of the chakra would be, the light would be dull, the movement would be like this. And so on and so forth. Like people are suffering from anxiety, so their adrenals are overworked, because this is in nature. You're usually relaxed. You know, the color green is relaxing. The color blue is relaxing. To touch the earth is relaxing. So your adrenals are not overworked. You know, okay, if you see a wild animal, or you know, you're in a storm or something, then your body activates this for the necessary energy that you need. Whereas in a society, you're driving on a freeway, you know, you're going to go to a business meeting, you don't know if you're going to lose $1,000, you know, the traffic is, you're late, you're on a plane, your adrenals are overworked. So when you come to these ceremonies, what happens is that, for example, if we analyze our existence at the cellular, molecular, atomic level, there's a certain movement that's generating health. And when this movement is disturbed, cells malfunction. So then you have organs that malfunction, you have systems that malfunction. You have nervous systems, you have cancer cells. So at this level, when you're in a ceremony, you get down to this energetic level, which is the basis of this reality. You know, like people draw pictures of atoms and they draw these little marbles. They're not little marbles. The protons, neutrons, they're more like energetic light moving like this. There's nothing, it's more energetic than solid. But they teach the kids, oh, you have little marbles inside of you, you know, they're not marbles, it's not solid. So if people understand that their core, their true essence is energy, that everything around us is made of energy, when you're in the ceremony, you get to this level. So these kind of changes are fundamental and they're lasting. They reorganize the memory of your cells at a cellular level. This is why sometimes you can cure cancer, sometimes you can cure anxiety, because the organs themselves, the glands themselves, get a dose of what it means to be a healthy state. And this is why people come into ceremonies and then they throw away their prescription bottles, because they no longer need them. A lot of treatments that people receive, whether they're psychotherapy or pharmaceuticals, they're just something that it's a treatment, but it's not a cure. You know, to rehash over the traumatic experience a person had when they were a child doesn't necessarily mean you're curing it. Whereas in a ceremony, if the person transports themselves back to this moment and sees what happened under a different light, they can actually reorganize their emotional state. And they can recapture their self-worth, their self-love from a moment where this was taken from them. They can actually heal it. And so this is like working at the core, the energetic core of individuals. And this can be multiplied in a society. Like if you have people in positions of decision making, whether it's in business or politics or whatever strata of the society that they're in, even parents, simply parents, you become a better parent, you become a better director, you become a better CEO, you become a better senator. Why? Because now you've already resolved a lot of the personal issues that you have that are stem from ills that you weren't even responsible for. But now you've discovered a method to resolve them and you become part of the solution.
Oxum, vem na cachoeira. Pai Olodum abençoou. Eu vou pedir permissão ao Oxalá pra banhar na cachoeira para todos levar. Eu vou pedir permissão ao Oxalá pra banhar na cachoeira para todos levar. La cachoeira de Mamãe Oxum corre água cristalina. Eu tô Pai Olodum. La cachoeira de Mamãe Oxum corre água cristalina. Eu tô Pai Olodum. Mamãe Oxum é na cachoeira. Pai Olodum abençoou. Eu vou pedir permissão ao Oxalá pra banhar na cachoeira para todos levar. Eu vou pedir permissão ao Oxalá pra banhar na cachoeira para todos.
Daqui dá.
Alright. We gotta pick up all the flowers. So we sing some songs to the water.